Welcome aboard, One Piece fans. And it's time for the King's Court. So this is going to be our technical second video on One Piece. We did record an opening a long time ago back. If you look way through our channel, there was a opening for the Starter Deck Red for One Piece. Because we were given those as gifts. Well, we did record the green one being opened, which, as you'll see here, that's the deck I was running. I ran for a little bit. But we never uploaded it. And then kind of got more involved with Digimon, more involved with Pokemon, and then got more back involved with Yu-Gi-Oh! At least I did. So really never got a chance to play a little more One Piece. But a lot of my friends wanted to get back into it. And they kept asking me to get into it. And I'm like, you know what? Sure. I'll get back into One Piece. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go with what I started to play, and I started to play Kid. So this is currently my build for Kid. It's based off of I think it was like a top 32, top 16 profile I saw recently, a while back. Somewhat recent, I guess. And I have no results because I haven't gone to tournaments with this yet, because I'm still trying to get my fingers, or my comfortability back with the game. So bear in mind, this is a lot of stuff I'm going to be saying. It's coming from what I've play tested with, and ratios are right now what I'm testing. I can see where I want to change ratios. If you have any suggestions, please keep it please let me know in the comment section down below. And bear with me, I'm going to do this profile the best that I can with what I know. So first off, we'll start with the leader. We are playing Kid. Eustass Captain Kid. Don't you mean useless Captain Mid? Hey, when you see who he got bodied by in One Piece, you know it makes sense why he got bodied. So he's a monocolor green leader, so he gets 5 lives. Some leaders have different lives totals. Everyone knows that by now. And then activate main once per turn for 3 Dawn. You can discard a card from his hand and put him as active. So basically, if you've ever played Vanguard, he's like Draconic Overlord. The end, pay 2, ditch 3, another one. So it's pay 3, ditch 1, another one. He's great to be a game ender. That's why I like to use him. So I use him as a game ender a lot of the time. Because, you can basically put, if you're sure you got game, you can put basically 7 of your Dom, make him 12, and swing twice. Against Enel, it's pretty nice to do. Because some of this game I've tested, I have played against Enel, I've played against Bello Betty, I have played against a few, like 1 or 2 Sakazuki, and I have played against Rip Luffy, so the deck does okay. Oh, and Rebecca. And the deck does okay. I'll admit I haven't played the best of my abilities on those games because also I'm still learning some stuff, so it was fun. So yeah, and then we're gonna start off with what everyone knows as the film engine of the deck, because the deck does play the film engine, which is a really good engine. So we're gonna start off with my personal favorite part of the engine, which is of course 4 copies of film Nami. Sorry about that, Justin. Anyway, so Nami is on player when attacking. You can pay 1 Dawn. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1. Reveal up to 1 film type card other than herself and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom. So she doesn't get herself, which is fine. But she gets you everything else, which is pretty good. And she's a 5k body on she's a 5k power on a 3 body, like a 3 body. Pretty good. Next, we play 4 copies of Brook. May I see your panties? God, I just love Brook as a character. Anyway, so Brook is on play. You may play 1 film, up to 1 film or Straw Hat Crew type character with a play cost of 3 or less from your hand. So, if you couldn't already guess, yeah, he can play Nami. So on 4, you can take this really big momentum swing and play Brook into Nami. So that is pretty nice. And he's a 5k on a 4 body, which is pretty good. And of course, if you know how the film engine goes, then you know that the next card we're going to replay is, of course, 4 copies of film Luffy. So what does Film Luffy do? Well, he is a blocker, which is pretty nice to be a 7K blocker. And on play up to one film or stronger crew type with play cost 4 or less from your hand. So obviously, if you could already figure it out, you can go Luffy into Brook, into Nami for a complete momentum swing. And if you look at the total play cost, you're playing for 7, you're playing basically 14 cost, which is pretty good. And this basically will net you an advantage early game. Like, once you hit 7, it's a momentum swing. I would say if you can go Brook into Nami turn 4, momentum's really swung to your favor already. And then 7 into this is really good. Nami on turn 4, if you just have Nami, is fine, because then you can also use the one Dawn, open Dawn you have, to pay for her effect to look for anything you're missing. And your film engine is pretty wide, so overall, I like this engine a lot. It has won me a decent amount of games, just because of again, how good that engine is. 4 copies of Tony Chopper, my other favorite character. Dawn times 1, when attacking, rest up to 2 of your opponent's characters with 2 cost or less. You're never going to play him, hard play him really. There's no point to. Unless you're really worried about a 1 cost that your opponent has on the field, but honestly, I don't think you need to worry about that. You're only going to use it for his 2K counter. And shout out to my friend at the shop I go to who gave me this pre-release Tony Chopper. He's a film. So, yes. Four copies of the sniper god himself, Usopp. He's pretty good. 3 body with 5k power. Pretty good. 1k counter. He's vanilla. He's another one you can drop if you don't have Nami but you have Brook. You can go Brook into this. It's really good still. It's a momentum swing that's not going to be as fast or not as potent in my opinion. 4 copies of Roronoa Zoro, or Zolo if you watch the Forkins dub. Yo! 4K, 4 body with 6k and a 1k counter. He's pretty good. Game can play off Luffy, so that's why you like him. I know. I'm kind of repeating you can play this off Luffy, but I think that's basically how the engine's supposed to go, because I've done that. So, yeah. But of course, you have your optimal engine ending, so. And then finally of the film engine is 4 copies of Frankie. Frankie is just a 7k attacker on a 5 body, 1k counter. I very rarely play this card to actively play it. I use him over its counter. But I mean, there are occasions that, if your opponent doesn't, if this is on, okay, I mean, I have played this because sometimes your opponent can't really out it because it's 7k, and that can really be a hard number unless you're going to immediately go into it. I mean, the only thing it doesn't care about is Sakazuki. Sakazuki does not care about your power. It cares about your play cost, and it will just wreck you anyway, so. No surprise, Sakazuki is like one of our worst matchups. 2 copies of Capone Gang Beige, or Beg. I don't know how you pronounce the name. He's okay. He's just a blocker. That's it. On some occasions, I will ditch him for Kid's Effect. But that's about it. Then 4 copies of Izo. You can rest something if you play her for 4 or less, but you're just gonna use her for her counter. At least I use her for that mostly. So it's a 2k counter. So we have 4 choppers that are 2ks and 4 of her, which means we have 8 2k counters, which is pretty good. 2 copies of X-Drake. He is a 6k on a 5 body. And on Blade KOs any opponent's rested characters with a play cost of 4 or less. So this is really nice for a momentum swing. I say that a lot. So I was playing against my buddy who was playing Sabo. And I had a Brook and I had a leader on field. So I swung with the leader into his leader. He countered with Hina, or he blocked with Hina. Hina stuns my Brook so it can't swing, and he uses Sabo to protect her. So then I just played down X Drake to pop her, and it was kind of an interesting way to do it. He's pretty good for that. 3 copies of Krieg. He's pretty good. So on play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, KO up to 2 of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 4 or less. So you can KO 2 4 costs if you have it. That's fine. And Dawn 1, this character gains double attack, which means he does 2 damage. So if your opponent isn't, if you have enough, you can go him, put say 3 Dawn on him. He's 10k double attack, so he's gonna do 2 damage. And then you can go Kid. So I think I've done this before. I had Kid with 4, him with 3. So that puts Kid at 9, him at 10, and then 3 open for Dawn. So we'll go Kid swing for 9, because that's going to require a lot to counter out. If they don't counter out, then you go him. And then you go Kid for 9 again, if they have enough to counter out. But you've basically given up all your resources, but you're hoping to go for game on that. It's very nice to do. I would say this is probably the only card I probably am not the hacks with the ratio. And that is 4 copies of the 10k Donphy, or Don Quixote Don Flamenco. He's good. Like, he is really good. Don't get me wrong. He's a very good card. But being a 10 drop where your momentum is kind of okay. So on play, up to 3 of your opponent's rested leader and or character cards. Our character will not become active in your opponent's refresh phase. If you play Digimon, they cannot unsuspend during the next unsuspend phase. So yeah. So playing against when I played against my buddy playing Sabo as well, was able to play this on his stuff, so he couldn't unsuspend his big attackers, and then I dealt with his attackers, and then this was a 10k body, which I don't need to put any Dawn on to. I mean, if you want to make it 12, putting 2 Dawn on him, so your opponent has to guard a lot, it's fine, but they're really not going to guard on Donphy, as far as I've seen it. And then for our events, we play 4 copies of Paradise Waterfall. Counter, your leader or one of your characters gets plus 2k power during this battle. 10 set one of your characters is active. So what you can do is if you have a card you want to save, if they go to attack leader, you can, so say for example, one of the cards I've seen happen a lot is they want to attack my Nami. So they'll attack leader first. You can do this and then put the Nami as active. So unless they have a card that can attack active, you're fine. Or you can use this and give 2k to your leader. And then set your Luffy blocker as active, so Luffy is active, able to block again. It's really good, honestly. It's a pretty good card. Oh, and then its trigger effect is you can KO when your opponent's rested characters with a play cost 4 or less. This comes up actually a lot more often than you think it would. And then our final event cards are 4 copy of Punk Gibson. Counter, up to your character or leader cards gains plus 4k power during this battle, then rest up to your opponent's characters with 4 costs or less, and then counter is rest one of your opponent's characters. So this can mean a lot if your opponent swings heavily. So like if you have, like, say they have started like Luffy that they want to swing at you to game you with, you can go. If you hit this and trigger, this stops that, but this is basically your way to deal with other momentum swings. I wish this could start like Luffy, but he's 5, not 4. So yeah, that's basically how One Piece has gone for me so far. I have been playing this deck for a little while. I've been enjoying how it plays. We're going to try to put a little more One Piece content out there. I guess the question of the day, of course, is going to be, what are you guys hoping for in One Piece going in? Are you hoping for any leaders? I know Isaac is hoping for a Nico Robin leader. It'd be kind of cool. I'm hoping for another Nami leader, because I don't like the way the current one plays, and I want to build a Nami deck, because for those of you who don't know, or may not know because I don't talk about it that much, I do like One Piece. I just don't watch it nearly as much as Isaac does. And Of the Straw Hats, probably Sanji is my favorite of the actual Straw Hats for his character development. But as far as, say, okay, Wifey is definitely Nami. And I wish he just had a different card. A different leader card, because I don't like, basically, my milling out. But I understand she's good. I do. But yeah. The only ratio so far I would want to change up is I think I would not... I kind of want to cut Donphy down, maybe to 2. And play instead 2 of the 7-drop kid. Because Donphy at 10 just means he's kind of dead in my hand till turn 10, or when I get the 10 Dawn. And even then, he may not be the best to always drop. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, I might consider changing it to 2 kid, 2 Donphy. But as of right now, that's what I've been testing with. And it's been working pretty good. Honestly, I can't really complain about it because I haven't played as much as I'd like to, so knowing what to do and what not to do. We're still learning, but you know, obviously. And then, of course, I forgot to say this earlier, I always forget it when I get going. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications so you know when we're uploading consistently. And of course, make sure to follow our social medias. Link will be down below in the description box. Yeah. So sorry if I don't have so much like dynamic commentary. You're talking to someone. You're someone who has been playing One Piece for like maybe now. Playing it more consistently, probably like 2 to 3 weeks now. So I'm still learning a lot of the stuff. So, but I'm having fun with it. I'm definitely liking green. Green is probably the color I was enjoying. So I definitely like it. I'd like to say I think Kid is probably a good leader. I mean, I could look at Green Log. Green Log's pretty fun. I think if Sanji had a green leader, I don't know if Sanji has a green leader or not. I would like to see that. I would love if Nami was a green leader, but she's a blue, if I remember correctly. So, or Donphy. There is Donphy as I think Donphy has a green purple leader now too. So, yeah. So, definitely things are looking to be fun for this game. I'm definitely looking forward to playing this game more consistently, and of course, I will keep you guys updated if we do any competitiveness with it. We're gonna try to get the gameplay of One Piece soon. We're gonna need people who are probably going to be as slow as me, or at least who are willing to be recorded and help me out. Just because, you know, again, I'm not the greatest with this deck yet, and I'd like to get better. But yeah. So anyway, guys, that was my Green Kid deck profile as of OP06, I believe is the current set we are in now. Or is OP05? I think it's OP05. I forget which one it is. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. This has been Mike of the King's Court. Thanks for hopping along, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.